Okay, welcome back. So now you can see me and I'm sitting in my living room. Here is the second part of task analysis, which is elaborating on keywords and phrases. So here's what you'll learn in this video. You'll learn what it means to elaborate, and you'll also learn how to elaborate on each keyword and key phrase. So here is your example task question. Dietary fiber is essential to the maintenance of one's health. Investigate and explore how food rich in dietary fiber can be included in preparing nutritious and appealing dishes. So all the dark brown words are obviously your keywords and phrases. So what does it mean to elaborate on each keyword and phrase? Now, to elaborate means to develop your ideas on each word and phrase. Develop your ideas. Now, to do this, you need to start by asking questions that will help you think about these words and phrases. After that, what you want to do is answer some of these questions briefly by conducting a quick research on your questions or answering based on your existing knowledge. Now, to come up with the questions, what you want to do is to use the 5 wives and 1 husband questioning method. 5 wives is in reference to the what, why, when, who, and where, and the 1 husband is the how question. Now, take note that not all 6 types of questions will apply to all the keywords and phrases. Sometimes you only use some of them. And after you come up with the questions, what you want to do is do some basic research to answer. Now, this is just task analysis, so don't get too caught up with the research. The main thing here is to cover most of the points that are going to be relevant to your task. And here's a big hint. What you want to do is to use your textbook to help you develop both the questions and the answers. Alright, so a little more detail about the questioning, the 5 wives and 1 husband method. So what questions give you definitions to words for better understanding? Basically, you've already defined your keywords and phrases, so this part might not be as important. The next question you want to ask is why. So why questions look at cause and effect and helps you to know the reason why behind something allows you to gain a deeper understanding of that particular thing. For example, why did this happen? When questions are about location and time, example, when did this happen? Who questions bring people into the frame and connects them with actions and things. For example, who is in charge? Where questions look at location, so where will the practical exam be held? And finally, how questions explain a process. So for example, how do I cook the egg? Okay, so here's an example. So the first keyword was dietary fiber, the definition. So this is the what question. What is dietary fiber? Dietary fiber is a part of plants that cannot be digested by the body. There are 2 types, soluble and insoluble. So if we apply the 5 wives and 1 husband technique, these are the kinds of questions that we could come up with. So for example, what is dietary fiber? So you've already defined it. What is soluble and insoluble fiber? What foods contain fiber? Why do we need fiber? I couldn't think of any when questions, so I just went on to who, like who gets enough fiber, who doesn't get enough fiber, and then where can soluble fiber be found, where can insoluble fiber be found, and then how much dietary fiber should one have per day. Alright. So you can see just by using this 5 wives, 1 husband technique, you can come up with quite a lot of questions. Now, the next thing you want to do is to ask yourself whether the questions you've come up with are actually relevant to your task and whether they're going to actually help you move forward in your coursework. Ask yourself this, think about your questions, and if you find that your questions are irrelevant, just cross them out. So here's an example of how to elaborate. So your first question here, an example is, what is soluble and insoluble fiber? So what you want to do is to look into your textbook and you want to quickly define. So for example, soluble, fiber that dissolves in water, example pectin. Insoluble is fiber that does not dissolve in water, example cellulose. And you want to do that for all the questions, all the relevant questions that you've come up with. So you just want to briefly answer them. You can definitely use point form here. And if you're going to write in sentences, just write short sentences. Okay. So now what you need to do is to attempt the elaborate on key phrases fun sheet, but again, you don't have it, so never mind, when you come to class, we'll work on it.